Hi everybody, welcome to Fast Coasters, and today we will be reviewing Rapterra at King's Dominion. So Rapterra is a B&M launched wing coaster. It did replace Volcano the Blast coaster, which was an intimate full circuit impulse coaster. Never got the chance to ride that, unfortunately, but I did ride its replacement Rapterra on the preview day before it opened. So I got a good amount of rides in throughout the week it was open. So I feel like I have a good feel for the ride and I can review it now. It's a B&M wing coaster. It's the fourth launched wing coaster. The second Thrill launched wing coaster. The first was Thunderbird at Holiday World. It has a height of 145 feet, a speed of 65 miles per hour, a track length of 3,086 feet, three inversions, and it's about a minute and 30 seconds from when you leave the station to when you come back. It does feature two trains with 5 rows, so the capacity isn't the best, but it's better than other coasters such as like Flash, A Great Adventure. So when you walk up to Rapterra, you walk up in the Jungle Expedition area, which is a great area. Hats off to King's Dominion. They did a great job with this area, and I appreciate how they're getting the other rides in the area integrated with it, like retheming Avalanche to Reptilian. Backlash Subcoaster will hopefully get a retheme. I threw a 5 to Pantherian. So I do appreciate how they're trying to make more themed areas. I hope they go around the park and theme up the rest. So you walk up to Rapterra, and there are lockers for this ride if you have a big bag. So if you have glasses or a phone, just some little stuff you can fit in your pocket, there is a small cubby at the station once you board that you can leave your stuff in. But if you have a bag, you do need to put it in a locker, and they are paid lockers, so just be prepared for that. Once you walk into the queue, if you wait in the full queue, which you probably won't, it is about 2.5 hours. That's what I waited on the preview day with 2 moments of downtime. I wouldn't say it's worth 2.5 hours. We'll get onto that later. The theming in the queue is okay. It starts off good because you're in that little building with the theming, volcano and the Smurf Mountain, all the references. But you're in that building for like 2 seconds, so you don't really get to take it all in. Once you get out of that building, there's a big switchback in the middle. What's good about this queue is that it's in the middle of the ride. So if it wasn't in the middle of the ride, I'd say it'd be a horrible queue. But at least it's in the middle of the ride. You could watch the ride going around you at all times. You got some statues of the bird. You also have a giant crater where Volcano used to stand. Um, what you also have is what else do we have here? Yeah, it's just basically the rocks. They also use old footers from Volcano, which I thought was really cool. Um, yeah, so if you wait, there's about two switchback sections, and then you'll get to the Bird Temple. That is the merge point for fast lane and regular queue. And once you pass that, they'll either direct you to the left or the right. You go to the left, you go to the far side of the ride. You go to the right, you go to the near side of the ride. So, my opinion, I would personally recommend the left side over the right side, and I'll get more into that more later. As far as the station goes, I understand what they were trying to go for with the archaeological dig site theme, but it kind of looks a little bad. The station, I would prefer like Iron Menace's station at Dorney Park, but Rapterra station, it kind of looks like they cheaped out a little bit on it, especially like if you're looking at it from Flight of Fear, it looks really bad. But once you board the trains, which they do look pretty good, I think they could have been a little bit more detailed, but they do look good. There's some themed audio as it leaves the station. You take a slow right hand turn out of the station, and then you hit a rolling launch. So you don't stop and wait. You just hit the launch and you go. This launch, I do enjoy this launch. I think it's not as powerful as like let's say the Hulk or an accelerator like Storm Runner, but it is a pretty good punchy launch. The bouncing it is on this ride, but you don't feel it on the launch that much. So it doesn't really take away from the launch. After that, you go into this giant overbank, which is the highest part of the ride. I thought that element was pretty cool. You get to a great hang time sensation and you get a great view looking down over the pathway. After that is the photo point. So if you're looking for the photo point, that's where it takes your picture. Although the preview day, it wasn't taking anybody's picture and a lot of people were upset, but that's another thing. The picture should work now. You go into this giant Immelman, which I thought was a good element. It was a regular Immelman. I didn't think it was anything mind blowing. I thought it was a pretty cool sensation. Once you get out of that Immelman, you go into this twisted airtime hill, which didn't really give a lot of airtime or as much whip as I was expecting it to give. I think in the left side, in the back, it gives a little bit of whip, but that's basically it. There's not a huge amount of airtime on this hill. Then we go into this turnaround, into this kind of like wave turn element. Now, this is like the best and worst element on the ride. So when you're transitioning from the twisted hill into this wave turn, it is easily the bumpiest part of the ride, especially on the back right. you're really jolting up and down a lot, which for a new coaster, it's a little strange. But once you get to that airtime, like that wave turn, that does give a pretty good pop of airtime. That's probably the best pop of airtime on the ride. If you're sitting in the that element, I think would be better on the back right because you go further out and then you whip back in. But I still prefer back left on this ride. So you do that wave turn and then you transition into the corkscrew, which I thought was okay. I've been on better corkscrews. Gatekeeper has a much better and bigger corkscrews, but this one was all right. Again, it wasn't anything mind blowing. Then we go into the quote unquote airtime hill, which gave little to no airtime, but then again, it is just there to get you from point A to point B. I will say what was funny about it is when you're on the airtime hill, you kind of feel yourself bouncing up and down because of the jolts. But so it's not like airtime, it's like multiple airtime moments, if you will. But you come out of that airtime hill and then you go into the Raptor roll, I believe they call it, which again, that inversion is okay. I agree with some enthusiasts where it should have had a near miss, but I think the inversion is okay for what it is. And then surprisingly, one of the best parts on the ride is this turn back into the brakes, and it's really forceful going into the brakes, I think, because it's a really tight turn. And then you come right into the brakes, and then you go back to the station. Once you exit, if you exit from the left, you'll go up and over the station right by the op booth. If you exit from the right, you'll just come right out, and then you head all the way back to that base camp building, and that's where the gift shop is for the ride. That's where you can purchase your photo, and then you're done on Rapterra. As far as Rapterra goes, I was a little disappointed. I did think this was going to be a really good ride, and it is a really good ride, but it's not like elite. I thought it would be like in that top tier of King's Dominion, but it's not. I'm going to give this ride a 7 out of 10. It's a good ride. It's a good supporting ride that I think the general public will absolutely adore. But I do prefer Dominator to this, and then of course, Twisted Timbers and Pantherian are still the best rides in the park. But yeah, I would definitely recommend coming out and riding it, but I wouldn't like seek it out. Like if you're going, I wouldn't go cross country for this or like come on a busy day for this. But if you're in the area, I would definitely check out Rapterra. So let me know what your thoughts on Rapterra is, and let me know what your thoughts on the future of King's Dominion is. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this review, and have a great day. Bye, guys.